Well, hello everybody. I'll give it a minute to let people log on. It's really scary actually. It's really scary. I notice it in the messages. The people who send me all these links to all this mythical data. And I shared the legislation in Canada, in our Crown Colonial Canada, of where statistics come from legally and under our Criminal Code of Canada. Shared that to all of you. I don't share the civil society because I keep that for myself. Only very few people, and actually they're all Albertans, only I think about a dozen people that follow me, I put through a course, a private course, where they got to learn where true stats come from and why you can't trust other sources of statistics, which is a pile of a lot of Canadians, where we get into the realm of fiction, complete fiction. And we're going to go through a little bit of that. I'm not going to get into the civil society, as that is absolutely for our party going forward, because we're going to make an entire ass out of every political party in Canada. We're going to do that. And there's, I think, only 12 Albertans who really know. And that's loyal friends and followers of mine who've been with me a very long time. But outside of that, everybody, and I got to ask, where do your stats come from? Because if it doesn't follow clear legislated statistical analysis from absolutely Statistics Canada or vital provincial statistics in absolute ministry legislation, you don't got nothing. In fact, you got a whole bag of lies. And you say, what are you talking about, Dave? You can't trust the government, you can't read the acts, because outside of that, you have no statistical information on any Canadian whatsoever. It's completely fabricated, completely full of what I like to call the shit. And it's very simple. You have a healthcare number. When we look at health services, you have a healthcare number. You go to the doctor, you register that, and if it's not from Statistics Canada, from any provincial Ministry of Health, you don't have a single statistic. It's total bullshit. That's reality. Many statistics like this attached to all of you. So when people start showing me statistics from websites or people or groups or NGOs or websites that absolutely have zero legal authority and in fact by law have zero holding of you, the individual, or any Canadian or any provincial ministry, and it's not released in that act or by the said ministry, whether that's federal or provincial. I know them both very well. As I said before, my good friend John Carpe from the Justice Center of Constitutional Freedoms took all his data from only those sources which absolutely have your registered statistics, because they came right from those ministries. John Carpe went province by province painfully. I went through all of it to make sure that's exactly what he did. And now I produce the same thing and I get scoffed at, laughed at, and the same people going, oh no, I don't trust any of those stats. Those stats come absolutely from my personal registration, each and every one of us Canadians. So I know that those stats are absolutely 100% legitimate. Anything outside of that is absolute bullshit. Bullshit. And if you don't accept that, then there are no statistics for anything. You don't have economics, you don't have anything. And if that was the case, we would have been done in a very long time ago. People gotta wake up. People gotta start looking at things as they really are, or it's really scary. And you know, people terrify me. Average, everyday Joe Janes that just take from a diluted, polluted, fabricated system where people do not have access to anybody's personal information whatsoever. And there are only two sources when we talk about Canada, provincially and federally. And there's only two sources of statistics. Technically speaking, I guess it's 10 plus 3 when you get into the provincial territorial. But that's reality, and anybody spouting off about statistics outside of that, if it's not registered to that absolute ministry passed by said provincial government or federal government, and it's not attached, garbage. Garbage, diarrhea, pure and simple, made up statistics. If they don't have that, they don't have an attached ministry or a source data that goes to that, it's completely BS in all absolute ministries. Now I've published it. I published the federal. Sorry, my phone holder's busted, so I gotta get a new one. But that's reality, and people say, oh, I don't trust this, I don't trust that. Well, there is only one source federally and one source provincially. Outside of that, for world stats, go with the CDC because they have a much higher ratio. As I really enjoyed Ian Bjorkman today commenting, one comment out of thousands, which is terrifying, that this is how ignorant the average Canadian is. And that's the big education we got to do, and that's the work I'm going to do. Beyond that, I will go in upon our party registry just to beat the living shit out of every registered federal party, just to show you all how much of an absolute joke they are. Like I said, over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to relax. We're going to do a week of proliferation. Then we're going to go revisit COVID and economics. Canadians can kick, stamp their feet, but you get what you deserve when you remain ignorant. Now, a lot of it's not your fault, it's your government's fault. But nonetheless, when stuff's shown clearly to you and you can't disassemble that reality from the fiction, boy oh boy, that's some scary stuff. It shows me just how bad a shape this country really is in, just how bad a shape Canadians really are. And that's why constitutionalism can't be written by your average everyday Joe, because you're institutionalized. It's why I've gone around the entire world to assemble the best of the best to teach you guys all this stuff. And I'm sorry I won't go into the civil society because that's private for our party, and that for a fortunate set of Albertans are the only Canadians outside of a very limited first-class politician. There's only about 12 everyday average Albertans who absolutely know the truth of the civil society. And I'm going to keep it that way until we're registered and we're ready to roll out our platform. But people, wake up. Wake up. If you choose not to read things as they really are, I don't know what to tell you, but these hundreds of messages is, oh, I read this, I read that. You haven't read nothing except for somebody's complete fabrication. And I've shown you in law how it absolutely is fabrication. There is only one source federally and one source for each province and each territory. A set of two everywhere you go. John Carpe did that flawlessly. Jeez. I think I'm just going to leave this live in my truck going for... I'm going to leave these alone until I get a new holder, because this is a pain in the butt. Everybody have a good day. Share, share, share if you're not a tool. And if, like, man, it's scary. It's scary. People, look where you're getting your information. I just showed you legally where real stats come from, and people laughed. People ignore it, and they shun it. That terrifies me. Thousands and thousands of you terrify me. Left, right, or other, you terrify me. That's my video. Share, share, share. For those of you who know better, those few, very limited Albertans that went through my course. I don't know what else to say, but now you see it. You see what the average, everyday Joe Jane institutionalized thinks. And it is truly terrifying. We have a lot of work to do, and I'm glad we have this time. But as some of those loyal who did the course, who called me today at lunch after I did my last post, you can see the negativity from it. And I just shake my head. Scary, scary, scary. I wouldn't trust anybody to run anything right now, not unless you're educated. That first class has got you all bent over, bamboozled. People got to wake up and start looking at things as they really are. Even when it's right in front of you, you still try to ignore it. Ouch. That's my video. Scary stuff. Bye now.